Before the heat settles over the island, before traffic hums through the narrow lanes, Georgetown moves in near silence. Morning light spills gently across pastel shophouses. Wooden shutters open one by one. A bicycle glides past faded murals painted on century-old brick. Somewhere nearby, coffee is poured from a metal kettle into thick ceramic cups, steam rising into the humid air. Georgetown sits on Penang Island, off Malaysia's northwest coast. For centuries, this was a meeting point, not of tourists, but of traders. Ships once anchored here carrying silk from China, spices from the Indonesian archipelago, textiles from India, and ideas from Europe. The sea brought commerce. Commerce brought people. And people brought stories. Unlike cities built around monuments, Georgetown feels assembled rather than designed. Its streets reflect movement and adaptation. Chinese clan houses stand beside mosques. Hindu temples sit within walking distance of colonial churches. The skyline remains low, allowing the sky itself to feel present. History here is not dramatic. It does not demand attention. It settles quietly into daily life. Walk along Armenian Street and you begin to notice textures, the unevenness of old stone, the slight lean of balconies carved from dark wood. Metal grills shaped decades ago still guard narrow windows. Paint peels gently from walls that have endured monsoon rains and tropical heat. The British established Penang as a trading port in the late 18th century. Colonial architecture followed: wide windows, covered walkways, arched corridors. But even before that, Malay fishing villages dotted the coastline. Chinese traders had already passed through. Indian merchants brought textiles and spices. Over time, the cultures did not replace one another. They layered. In the early hours, temple bells ring softly. Incense curls upward in quiet spirals. A call to prayer drifts across rooftops. In another corner of the city, church doors open for morning mass. These sounds do not compete. They coexist. Perhaps that is what defines Georgetown: coexistence without spectacle. Markets begin slowly. Vendors arrange tropical fruit in careful stacks. Noodles sizzle in worn pans that have seen decades of use. Conversations unfold in a blend of Malay, Mandarin, Tamil, Hokkien, and English. The languages mix fluidly, reflecting generations of shared space. Food in Penang tells a story as layered as its streets. Laksa rich with tamarind and fish. Char kway teow cooked over high flame. Nasi kandar served with fragrant curries. Recipes shaped by migration, refined by repetition, passed down quietly. As afternoon approaches, light shifts across the buildings. The pastel tones soften under the tropical sun. Shadows stretch through covered walkways designed long ago to shield pedestrians from rain and heat. The city does not rush, it breathes. Unlike busier capitals in Southeast Asia, Georgetown does not overwhelm. There are no towering skyscrapers casting long shadows over old neighborhoods, no neon districts dominating the skyline. The scale remains intimate, the rhythm remains human. Even the street art, now one of the city's most photographed elements, feels integrated rather than imposed. Murals blend with aging walls, adding color without erasing history. In the late afternoon, as the heat begins to ease, cafes fill gently. The scent of roasting coffee mingles with sea air drifting in from the strait. Motorbikes pass slowly. Families gather outside shopfronts that have belonged to them for generations. Georgetown was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site not because it is grand, but because it is continuous. It reflects a history of exchange, trade routes, migration, adaptation, without losing its identity. This is not a city that demands a checklist. It rewards wandering. It invites pauses. It encourages observation. Stand at a quiet intersection and simply watch. A monk passes beneath colonial arches. A grandmother carries groceries home in woven bags. A child rides a bicycle past a temple painted in red and gold. These small movements are the city. Penang's beauty is not found in dramatic landscapes or towering peaks. It is found in coexistence, in the way cultures sit beside one another without erasing the past. For travelers who prefer atmosphere over spectacle and texture over trend, Georgetown offers something enduring. It is a reminder that the most compelling places are often those shaped slowly, patiently by movement and memory. If you enjoy exploring destinations where cultures meet quietly and history feels lived rather than displayed, consider subscribing to Boarding Gate 28. This channel is about thoughtful travel, about slowing down enough to notice what remains. In Georgetown, nothing shouts, but everything speaks.